Alright, today we're going to focus on that beautiful, beautiful picture and get ready for just a couple of minutes of relaxation so that you're really ready. Afterwards, after just a few minutes, then we'll go to the class to teach the class. So let's do our relaxation first. If you're focused on the picture, just let that serenity just fill your whole body. And to push the tummy forward, take a deep breath into your heart. And let that breath go now and very gently close your eyes. Push the tummy forward, breathe deep into your heart. And let the breath go now and make sure your teeth are slightly parted so your jaws are completely relaxed. Tummy forward, breathe deep into your heart. And let the breath go now and listen to the little crickets that you can hear, and they will help you relax. Tummy forward, breathe deep into your heart. And let the breath go now, and your face should be completely relaxed. Good. Tummy forward, breathe deep into your heart. And let the breath go now and drop those shoulders. Just let them go. Completely relaxed. Tummy forward, breathe deep into your heart. And let the breath go now and just let your arms dangle from your shoulders as you relax your arms. And on down your arms to your hands and even your fingers. Relax, relax. Tummy forward, breathe deep into your heart. And let your breath go now and make sure that your legs are completely at ease. Just relax your thighs. And when you relax your thighs completely, they will part just a little bit. As you breathe a deep, deep breath into your heart. And let that breath go now and take that relaxation on down your legs, your thighs, your calf muscles, your ankles, even down to your feet and your toes. Just relax. Deep breath into your heart. And let the breath go now and completely relax your whole body. By now, every cell in your body is relaxing. And let that breath go and just tell yourself, relax, relax, relax. Tummy forward, breathe deep into your heart. And let the breath go, and by now you have shut down all of that cortisol. That cortisol that does so much damage, that increases body fat when you don't need to. Wonderful, wonderful. Just push the tummy forward, breathe deep into your heart. And let the breath go now and completely relax and tell yourself, relax, relax, relax. Push the tummy forward, breathe deep into your heart. And then let the breath go and relax, relax completely. All right, 2 more breaths and we'll open our eyes and start our class. Push the tummy forward, breathe deep into your heart. And let the breath go now, and we'll do 1 more breath. Push the tummy forward, breathe deep into your heart. And let the breath go now, and very gently open your eyes and see that beautiful picture. Very good. So let's start our class now. In the cage with this animal. Well, that depends upon what you think about this animal and how you feel at this point. Does this cause some stress because of what you're looking at? Or where does the stress come from? The picture or from your perception? Now, here is a picture of someone. This is a very famous lady tiger trainer. And you can tell by just looking at the picture that she is definitely in control. And she not only has 1 tiger, but she has all of them sitting in the background very obediently as she is working with the tiger in front of her. And there are no signs of fear whatsoever. So her perception is the fact that she is definitely in control. Whereas that tiger you just saw a minute ago, your perception of that tiger was very stressful because your perception, all the things you've learned up until this point about tigers and how dangerous they are, and if you've been to the zoo, you've seen them behind cages so they can't get out close to you. All of that learning has trained you to have a perception of tigers as dangerous and stressful. This lady does not look stressful at all because she is definitely in control. She has been trained to be in control. So actually, the stress in the first tiger that we saw was because of your perception of that tiger, that the tigers could do a lot of harm to you. Her perception of the tigers is the fact, I am in control and you will listen to me. So there is no stress for her at this point. Can you see the difference? So your perception is formed by your experiences and what you have been taught and what you have learned. This lady has learned that she is definitely in control. And so therefore, she is not stressed. So there is no stress out there. Stress happens inside your brain based on a lot of your experiences, what you've learned, what you've experienced. It happens inside. You create your stress through your perception. So, up at the top of the picture is very true. Your perception is how you view things. We could also say your perception is how you experience stress. Now, helping to form your perception often happens from the experiences that you have. From the time that you are born, even conceived probably. The world around us seems many times to be spinning out of control. And despite our best intentions, it's hard to maintain our emotional equilibrium when we're confronted every day, sometimes every hour, with stressful situations. Okay? Now, another thing that should sound familiar, we've all been told at one time or another to follow our heart. But where do we begin? People talk about following their hearts, but nobody shows us how to do it. Now, at the Institute of Heart Math, the scientists there have found that the heart is capable of giving us messages and even helping us far more than anyone ever suspected. So it's time now to re-examine the heart. Biomedical, psychological, and social science researchers all support what we instinctively already know. You may not be aware of that, but when people are sincere, we often say they're speaking from the heart, right? Have you heard that? When they throw themselves into any activity, we say they're doing it with all their hearts. I'd like to drive that home a little bit. I'd like for you to point to yourself with your dominant hand. If you're right-handed, use that hand. If you're left-handed, use that hand. Point to and use your dominant hand. As you say these specific words, this is me. Point at the same time you say that to yourself with your dominant hand. So hold up your dominant hand to start with, and everybody together will say, this is me. So let's do that now. As you do that, point to yourself with that dominant hand. So let's say together, this is me. Let's do that now. This is me. Point to yourself. Where did you point? Did you point to your brain? Because most people think that that's where a lot of our stress comes from. Probably, and I would say at least 90%, if not 99% of you pointed to your heart. It's just an automatic understanding that we have, and sometimes we don't even know we have it, that the heart is the important place that we need to deal with stress. Even in your Bible, it says, in the Old Testament, Proverbs 23:7, quote, "For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." All these conceptions have a common view of the heart as having an intelligence that operates independent of the brain. And just recently, neuroscientists that are scientists of the brain, and they study the brain, they have proven this to be accurate. And we're going to take a look at the brain in the heart. Now, all right, here we're taking a look at the cute little puppy. And the story behind this is parents who really wanted to buy a wonderful birthday present for their little 4-year-old, 5-year-old son. And they figured that a puppy would make a nice birthday present. And so they got the little puppy dog, and almost everybody loves a puppy. For instance, if you look at this little puppy, how does it make you feel? You know, the reason the eye is there is because your interpretation of the puppy is not something that you feel when you look at the puppy from the outside. Your interpretation of the puppy is going to be between your ears, your brain. That's why the eye is there, because it goes into your brain for interpretation. In other words, your perception. Your perception occurs in your brain. So what's your interpretation or your perception, your feelings about that puppy? Do you feel that when it goes inside the brain for interpretation, that forms your perception? So is it warm feelings, cuddly feelings, safe? Do you feel safe with a little puppy? Are those your feelings? Unless you've had a bad experience recorded in your brain, you have very, very positive feelings for a puppy, especially a little boy. Well, these parents were really upset because this little boy was upset. As soon as he saw the puppy, he got very, very upset and he cried, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. Okay? So the puppy had nothing to do with those feelings, because what determined the little boy's feelings went inside to his brain for an interpretation. And it was based on his previous experiences, which were recorded in his brain. Okay? So they were very different than yours. But the puppy's not any different. He's a cute little puppy. Let's find out why this little boy was so upset with his cute little puppy. Now, to help you understand how emotions affect perception, when you see something, most people think you see it out there. Well, that arrow is not pointing out there. The arrow points to the eye and then to the brain before the little boy feels anything. It happens so quick. Just in a split second, all of these things happen. Well, I'm going to slow it down a little bit so you understand that pathway. But everything you see before you form any kind of feeling about it, everything you see takes this same pathway into your brain. So when this little boy sees the puppy, immediately all of these things happen, and here you see what his perception is. Somewhere along the way, a dog bit this little boy. And this little puppy is setting into motion all of these things in your brain to bring about your perception. So your perception is what determines the stress you feel. This little boy felt a lot of stress about this cute little innocent puppy because of something that was stored in his brain. So let's follow that pathway. Now remember, all of this takes effect in less than a second. As soon as he saw the puppy, it was done. The puppy then went in to his brain, goes to the thalamus first, okay, and then takes a trip around here to the amygdala, which is what we call the slow track. Well, there's also a very fast track. And when something is highly charged with all this emotion, it goes the fast track. It doesn't take this track this way to the amygdala. What happens is it goes in to the thalamus and makes an immediate turn to the amygdala. So less than a split second, this brings on this brain activity. The amygdala is that part of your brain that activates your nervous system and your stress hormones. That's when there is something dangerous and your body needs to start producing major amounts of cortisol, very destructive kinds of hormones, and this is what can save your life. It's real danger. Of course, you can see it's not real danger. But if someone is pointing a gun at you, the amygdala is going to turn on all of your energy. Your eyes see better. Your brain is working quicker. You're thinking better, the whole 9 yards to save your life. However, that's overkill for a puppy. And we do it all the time. Every time you see anything that you interpret as unpleasant, it's going to take the fast track straight to the amygdala. And here's what precipitated his perception of the puppy. So where does stress happen? Stress happens, and see if this makes sense now. Stress happens because of the fast track to the amygdala that affects your perception of anything you see. This could be your boss. This could be taking a hike in the woods and you see something you think is the big snake sitting up ready to pounce, and it goes straight to the amygdala. Run, get away from here quick. All that cortisol and everything floods your body to make you a superhuman so you can get out of danger. That all happens in a split second. And there was nothing but a stick there. All of that because of a stick in the woods when you were hiking. But when it takes that fast track, look what comes up. You don't even go to this. You go straight here, and that's what triggers all of your memories and brings on all the stress just because of that little puppy. Now, let's watch the path because it is so very quick. This, as the little boy sees it, that arrow does not go to the puppy. The puppy is not the source of his perception. The source of his perception is right here in his brain, the dog that bit him. So when he sees the puppy, in less than a split second, that emotional perception of that dog, that angry dog, pops up right away, triggers the memories of this, and so the little boy being bitten at the bottom where it says trigger memories, that's what he sees. This little boy does not see the puppy. This little boy sees the mad dog that you see in that circle. And because of what he sees, then this, where it says triggers memories at the bottom, that's what that little boy sees. He does not see the puppy. And this can activate his nervous system with a lot of hormones and things that are going to be very damaging because he does not need to run fast as can be to get away from the puppy. The main thing that you need to understand here is that it's not the thing that you see, it's the perception of what you see. How do you perceive the puppy? This little boy perceived the puppy as stirring up his memory of the mad dog that bit him, which hurt and was very devastating. So it activates your whole nervous system and all your stress hormones. And that's what we're doing now. Does that make sense? If you have any questions, hold on to them so that I can reinforce them when we have the next class. Because here, this has a lot to do with whether or not you succeed with your wellness program. Your weight loss, your health improvement, all of that is the puppy. And what is going on inside your head, your emotional perception is totally different than the puppy you're looking at. The puppy you're looking at is your wellness program. The dog that bit the little boy, the negative emotional perception, are all the diets and all the dieting failures that you have gone through. And that's going to hold you back. And we're going to talk about that the next time. Now, to help you